Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Frozen and thank you so much for joining me. Today, I want to talk about what's in my pack for 2020. Now first, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do so down below by clicking that subscribe button and definitely hitting that notification bell so you know when I post new content. One of the main things that I want to portray in this video is there's no right or wrong way to do something. If I'm carrying less than 10 pounds, it's no different than someone carrying 50 pounds in their back. The whole point of backpacking is being friendly with each other, getting outside, and just enjoying the great outdoors. So with that being said, let's start taking a look at the gear. So to make this video go a little quickly, I'm gonna do it just like I've done all my other past gear videos. I'm going to show you the item, and then right below it, I'm gonna show you the weight in ounces, and for our metric friends, I'm also gonna include it in grams. Anyway, let's get started with my shorty shorts. These are a Patagonia Strider 5-inch inseam short or something like that. And what I like about this is not only does it dry really fast, it has this little zipper pocket for really whatever you want to do with it, keep a wallet back here or a phone or whatnot, but it also has some extra pockets on both sides, and this works out for holding my phone or whatever I really need. But basically I like these shorts because they're lightweight and they have a liner inside. Saves me from having to bring underwear or boxers like that, and I don't chafe hardly at all in these unless it's really, really hot, humid, and sticky and gross out. On top of that, I have my Champion Vapor shirt. I picked this up on Amazon for like 13 bucks 3 years ago, and it's still going strong. I use this for 3-season weather, but in warmer weather, I choose a lighter Outdoor Research Echo. I'm still a fan of the Darn Tough Vermont quarter cushion socks. I absolutely love these. They're lifetime warranty. The company is great. They're comfortable. I don't get any blister issues. It's just a no-brainer for me. I'm not gonna switch these anytime soon. If it works, why fix it, right? Top of my head, I will typically be wearing a buff. This keeps the sweat out of my eyes, and it also acts as just a rag or a washcloth if I need to when I get to a stream or I dry my tent or my tarp off in the morning from the dew. I love this thing. You can also, put it on your head and use it as a night skull cap for those chilly nights in the 3-season weather. Over top of my shoes are gonna be my Dirty Girl Gaiters. I tried this year not doing the gaiters and they only lasted 1 day. I just got leaves and rocks and sticks and a whole bunch of stuff in my shoe that I'm just not willing to deal with. I'm using a light AF fanny pack. I absolutely love it. I'll put all my snacks in here throughout the day. Finally, I am using the Lone Peak 4.5s. Now I was really hesitant to get these this year, but I figured they couldn't be any worse than the 4s last year, which I really didn't like. Some people do like them. Personally, I did not like them. And they're pretty close to the Lone Peak 3.5s, which I absolutely loved a few years ago. Inside the shoe, I do get Superfeet Trailblazer insoles. Now these are really great. You trim them down a little bit and they fit perfectly in place of the stock Ultra insole. You can see how wide the toe box area of that is. All right, now that the clothes are out of the way, we can start diving into the pack. Let's get rid of these guys because they're taking up a lot of room. I have trekking poles. I use 2 of them. I need 1 for my tent in this setup. These are the Lecky Micro Vario TI Z style poles, meaning they fold up like a Z, whichever way you're looking at that. And what I do with these is I simply just pull down this lower shaft, locks into place, and then for my tent, I can easily just adjust these up and down as needed. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the carbon poles. Lecky actually replaced these when they failed on the Appalachian Trail last year, so I'm just gonna be using them until they break, and I will switch over to aluminum. Carbon just isn't the right material for a trekking pole, for me at least. All right, moving to my water system. I use 2 1-liter smart water bottles, and I designate 1 water bottle as a dirty water container. So what I'll do is I'll leave the Sawyer Squeeze on top of here, and when I need to come to a water source to get extra water, I'll just fill this bottle up. I'll filter it into this one. I'll either do it at the stream or maybe later or whatever I want to do. I have options. Before, what I was doing is I was carrying basically 2 caps. So it would be like this. The filter was separate. I had a water scoop and I had an Evernew bag. I simplified that whole process because honestly, I've never had a water source that I couldn't just dip a bottle in. And if I couldn't find something that I could just dip a bottle in, I could easily just take out my pot and scoop the water like I did before. This system works out great and I don't have to carry another water bag around, and this has been working for several hundred miles, so I've switched to this. This is the fuel I will be using on the Foothills Trail, and it's about 17 ounces in a Deer Park, I think this was, fuel bottle. I've been using it for a while, just a little fuel bottle that I'm gonna need for 5 days. All right, talking about the backpack now. The backpack has been holding up great. This is still the same pack I used on the AT. It's the Light AF Curve 35 frameless pack with the shoulder strap pockets. I love the shoulder strap pockets. It takes the place of my regular hip belt pockets for holding things like my Pixel 3 phone. This is the camera that I use for whenever it's raining. So if it's wet out, this is the camera that comes along. It's a water resistant phone. I love it. It's been going good. Going on 2 years and a full through hike on that guy, so can't complain. On the other side, this is where I will put my my headphones. These are the Anchor Sound Curve or Sound Buds or Curve Buds or something like that. Just look down below, I'll give you a description. And these have like a 9-hour battery life at certain volumes, and they're Bluetooth. They work out great, and they're extremely water and sweat resistant. So these are always coming with me for whenever I listen to music on the trail via Spotify. All right, so let's lay this puppy down and let's take a look at what's in the pack. Okay, first up is my tent. Now I keep my tent, my Z-Packs Plexamid, on the outside of my pack in the mesh front pocket. What that allows it to do is allows it to dry out during the day, and it also just gets the dirty, wet bottom out from my pack. Now, I don't use a ground sheet because they're using a 1 ounce per square yard Dyneema composite fabric for the floor, and that's, in my experience, that's plenty thick enough, plenty durable to just lay it right on the ground. Some people like to carry a ground sheet. I'm not quite there yet. It would be nice maybe when it was a little dirty, but just a simple brush off in the morning can fix that, especially if you're keeping it on the outside of your pack like I am. Now for a tent, you're obviously gonna need tent stakes. So what I do is I carry a little Light AF tent stake bag around with me. This is actually a custom tent stake bag. He made it just a little bit wider, and that'll allow me to put my 4 tent stakes plus my guy lines in here when I switch to a hammock system. But for a tent, I carry 6 MSR groundhogs. I have them around. I've tried so many tent stakes in the past, and I always keep coming back to these guys. Also in the front mesh pocket, I think that clears it out, is my Outdoor Research Helium 2. I'm not sure what the deal is with this one, but I feel like this is wetting out a little too fast. So at some point next year, I may consider changing this out. It's been working great for 5 years, so I don't know if there was a material change on this at some point when I got it replaced via the warranty, but I'm looking for a better option for this. So if you have any suggestions, put them down in the comments below. All right, that clears out the mesh pocket, so let's start diving into the actual pack. All right, first up, toilet paper. Now, like I said, I haven't been on the Foothills Trail yet, but this is what I'm gonna be bringing. I poop a lot when I'm out there, and it gets a little dirty, so I have a lot of toilet paper with me. I try to use them sparingly, 2 squares at a time, but my fear is that I will run out or someone will need some, so I always carry extra toilet paper. So if you see me out on the trail and you're out of toilet paper, you can pretty much always ask me if I have some extra. I normally will have some extra in my pack for you. On top of that, I carry a Chi-Whiz titanium trowel right here, and I keep it in a little baggie so it doesn't get the toilet paper dirty. And also with that bag, I also carry another little small bag of wet wipes. Recently, I've been looking at a backwoods bidet, I think it's called, and what it'll do is it'll just attach to your smart water bottle, and you can kind of squeeze it from there. So I may actually consider trying that, because this is one of the things that I hate bringing along. I feel like it's very wasteful, but it's something that I need while I'm out there. So I may be switching to that next year. But for now, the toilet paper works fine. Next up is my Light AF Ditty bag. All right, so this is a bag where I just pretty much keep all of my emergency, repair, and first aid kit. So let's take a closer look at what's in this guy, because there's a lot of small items in here. Lots of questions about this, and I think this is just personal preference. You know, it's whatever you want to bring, whatever you feel comfortable with, and don't let me tell you what you should or shouldn't bring. But for me, what works is I have a little baggie with some Vaseline soaked cotton balls. I use this for fire starter. And in the same baggie, I'll keep 1 or 2 little vitamin A and D ointments in here, the little packs you can get on Amazon. I'll leave links below in the description if you want anything. But this prevents from chafing, the little A and D ointments, and I can use this for fire starter. I just keep these guys together because they get a little messy. Moving on, I got an extra O-ring for my Sawyer squeeze. I saw a lot of people losing theirs on the AT, and for 1/2 gram, I don't know, it seems like a no-brainer to keep one of those in your pack just in case you lose it. Hygiene kit consists of a little baggie separated into a couple items. So I have a travel toothbrush. You can get these at really any gas station. You open it up like that. See, this one's kind of gross. It's gonna need replaced after this foothills trip. But you can literally find these anywhere, right? They're easily and readily available. Little travel-sized toothpaste, a contact case just in case I need to take my contacts in or out. I have a little safety pin. This is just used to pop blisters. That's it. That's all I use it for. I'll burn the end of it with a lighter to kind of sanitize it, and that'll be it. So I prefer organizing my ditty bag into smaller bags just to keep everything organized. I have a hard time with just throwing everything in one bag. I'll have an extra mini Bic lighter, piece of Cuban fiber repair tape. I have an assortment of pills, so I'll tell you what I keep. I keep some ibuprofen, some Aleve, some Tylenol PM, and there's a couple poop pills mixed in for, you know, just in case if I get diarrhea, I'll keep all that stuff in there. I also have some travel size baby powder for any kind of chafing or just to dry out, and some hand and foot balm when I inevitably run into a lot of rain or water. My feet and hands start to get cracked, so I'll just take some, rub it on my feet, do it before bed, and I'll be good as rain in the morning. So the bag is just I think this is a Light AF, I want to say, Light AF DCF bag. I actually forget where I got this, it's been so long. One thing you may notice is that I don't have any like band-aids or bandages or anything like that. What I do have on my trekking pole is a spool of duct tape, right? And I'm already carrying toilet paper. I've never had a cut so bad that I couldn't just either put duct tape or toilet paper and duct tape and make my own bandage out of that. So this may seem like not enough first aid options, but this, I've never had to use any more than this. So maybe if I ever run into the situation where I need something, I will continue to add stuff to this kit. But for now, this is what works for me, and really no problems with just the gear you see on the table. Now, before leaving camp, I like to do this little trick. I put all my food throughout the day into this little bag. What this will have is my my dinner, my after lunch snacks, and my lunch. And also it will hold my titanium Toaks long-handled spoon. That way I don't ever have to open my my food bag throughout the day. It can just stay in the pack and I don't ever have to deal with it. This is right on top and it provides me easy access. Next up is my sit pad. Now for summer weather, I usually use a Dutchwear Gear 1-ounce sit pad. It's like a quad folding sit pad. But for 3-season weather, because it can become a little cold, what I do is I like to bring this Thermarest Z seat, and this works out great. It also, when folded in half, provides a pretty decent backing for the frameless pack. So you don't really need a frame in this pack, especially if you're gonna use one of these guys. Going down in the pack, this is my cook kit, and it consists of a pot koozie, a DIY pot koozie. I'll be having a video on this at some point soon here, so be expecting that if you don't know about this. But inside the pot koozie, I have my Toaks 700 milliliter titanium pot, and inside the pot, I will keep my stove, a windscreen, and a 1-ounce medicine cup I use to measure my denatured alcohol. Now the stove is a Fancy Feast DIY alcohol stove. I have a tutorial on how to make this guy. I absolutely love it. 1 ounce takes about I want to say 3 minutes to boil, 2 cups of water. So this is working out great. And I still have my Toaks titanium windscreen that I did cut down to size. So absolutely love this system. It works out well and everything really just packs into the cook kit. Also, I'll keep a little mini Bic lighter for whenever I stop for lunch or dinner. Moving on, this is my electronics bags. I think this is a Z-Pack roll top bag. Now I'll be doing a separate video on this to show everything about my electronics. I've gotten that video requested a lot, so be sure to look for that in the upcoming weeks or so. But inside I'll have a USB-C cable. It's a little long. I just haven't gotten around to ordering a shorter one. This came with my phone and I don't really want to buy an extra cable. So USB-C to C. I have my wallet, which will have a couple bucks just in case I have an emergency, need to get to town. Actually, also inside here, I will keep my very, very powerful Victorinox Swiss Army knife. Now this has a knife, a nail file, toothpick, tweezers, pretty much anything you'd expect from a Swiss Army knife. And what I use the most is just this little pair of scissors. I've never needed anything more than this, but if you feel like you need to have a bushcraft knife or a larger knife, that is completely up to you. I am not judging anybody. This is just what works for me. Moving on in the electronics bag, this is my Anker PD 10,000 milliamp charger. And when I say PD, I mean power delivery. So it takes a USB-C cable and it charges very fast. We're talking under an hour and a half to get this charged up fully. Almost 2.5 phone charges out of this guy. So it works out great, and that's really all I need when I'm out there. If I'm out there for an extended length of time, I do have the same thing, but in a 20,000 milliamp version, but this is pretty much what you need out there. I don't think anyone needs anything bigger than that. Inside there, I'll have my favorite headlamp of all time. This is the Nightcore NU25 rechargeable headlamp. I love this thing. I have a review on the channel if you'd like to check it out. It has the Lightsmith headband mod with the brackets, and it's super light. I think this is under 2 ounces, and this is going strong after 3 years of use and a full through hike on this guy. I love this thing, seriously. Best headlamp I've ever owned. To charge that headlamp and my headphones, I have a USB to micro USB, little tiny charger cable right here. I will have a little cleaning cloth for my camera and my phone in there. And then what I'll also do is I'll keep a few desiccant bags. Now this is not rat poisoning, but it actually soaks up the humidity and keeps the moisture out of your electronics. And like I said, that's a Z-Pack's bag. So we'll put everything back in here, but be expecting a more full, in-depth look at my electronics video in the next upcoming weeks. Food bag. This is a light AF, flat bottom food bag, and it is still going strong after 2 years of use and a full through hike. I can't really believe it. I thought this thing would be falling apart by now, but this is great. There's no food in it right now, obviously. Inside there, I will have a rock bag. And what I'll use is I'll put a rock in here, I'll attach a rope to it, and I'll throw it over the tree so I can do the PCT style hang. Now, typically these food bag kits come with Zing It. I can't stand Zing It for food bags. It just ends up hurting my fingers, and it's just a really not good product for, in my opinion at least, not for me. It's not a good product to use for the line. So what I like to do is I like to aftermarket the Lawson reflective bear line. Now, I don't even know if you can get this anymore, but I got this like 3.5, 4 years ago, and this is holding up great. I love it. It's reflective so you can see it in the dark. And I keep about 50 foot inside of the rock bag ready for my disposal. On the end of that, I'll have just a random generic carabiner that it came with to hang it in the bag. For 3-season use, I have been preferring not to use a down jacket. I was using the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer. I'm now in 3-season weather using the Melanzana microgrid hoodie. There's plenty of different options out there if you can't find one of these guys. I know these guys are literally impossible to get, but this is good down to about 35 degrees, and that's about the limit for my 3-season gear. You can also pair this with a rain jacket to kind of get a lower limit on it. But Appalachian Gear Company, Outdoor Research, Old Navy, they all have hoodies similar to this. If you can't find this guy, look around. I'll provide you some links in the description below on where to get one of those. I just like it because for the down jackets, I was always afraid to hike in them because they're always like super delicate. They absorb a ton of moisture, and man, if I'm cold in the morning and I have to wear something like that, I am really cold and I don't want to be bothered trying to be careful with it. I just want to hike. So for an extra 2.5, 3 ounces on that versus my 40-degree Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer, I'll take the synthetic fiber all day long. Speaking of down, this is my hammock gear, 40-degree Burrow, I think it's a Burrow. Now this is a short version of their Burrow, and that's because I am 5'6". I'm very short. I think the normal version is up to 6 foot perhaps, or maybe 5'9" or 5'10" or something like that. But this is rated down to 40 degrees, and that's where I find myself in my 3-season weather. Here is my clothes bag. So let's open this up. I think this is a Z-Packs clothes bag. It's a medium bag. Inside I have a set of cheap Amazon body wrapper wind pants. And what I've done with this is I've added Nick Wash to this, and I've semi-waterproofed these. So I can use these for not only wind, but a little bit of rain protection if it's just drizzling. If not, I tend to just wear my shorts and call it a day. Now, I was using a Z-Packs rain kilt last year, and I continued to use it throughout this year. But what I found is after the first hour with the rain kilts, I don't know if it's just my rain jacket being too short, but I'm getting wet on my pants, so there's really no point in bringing that. I'll just use these from now on, and or just deal with the rain. So these are some extra darn tough socks. We already talked about these, same ones as I use for hiking. I swap them out if I need to, if they're super sweaty at lunch. I let my feet air out and just keep moving on. They're there for me if I need it. This is a Champion, I forget shirt. This is what I use to sleep in. Until this thing wears out, I'll be looking at something lighter, but this works for me. I think this is like the first hiking shirt I ever have owned. This is a plastic case with a set of earplugs. Now I forget where I got the case. I think someone gave it to me when they came back from a NASCAR race or something like that. But yeah, it's just a little nice little clean case that I can store my earplugs in case I'm at a noisy camp. These are my Champion Vapor shorts. I used to hike in these, and they've now been demoted to sleep shorts. When these, actually these are looking pretty raggedy at this point, so they got paint on them and stuff. I may consider replacing these, but I had them around, didn't want to spend any money this year. I'm focusing on saving up for the PCT. But at some point, I would like to get a lighter pair, but these are working out just fine for sleeping in at least. Here is my pillow. This is a Sea2 Summit Ultralight Eros or Eros Ultralight pillow. This has been working out fantastic. I absolutely love it. This may be too plasticky for some people, but what I do in those instances, if it's hot or sticky, I'll just put my buff over top of this and it works out great. I've been using this for a full through hike now and it is going strong, no issues whatsoever, but now that I said that, I'll probably pop it on the foothills trail. This is my new sleeping pad of this year, and I absolutely love this so far. This is the Nemo Tensor, regular length, regular width, no mummy cuts anymore. I'm totally over the mummy cut stuff. I just toss around like a rotisserie chicken at night, and this is thick enough and comfortable enough to provide me a great night's sleep. Now, inside here is a Nyloflume pack liner. You can get these for $2.50 on lightaf.com or lightsmith.com. A lot of people sell these. And this just protects all my important sleep gear. So the quilt, the clothes, the pad, anything that I don't want to get wet. I'll put it in here. I'll take it, I'll twist the top a little bit, and I'll shove the tail down, and that will be completely waterproof, even if water somehow manages to get into the Light AF pack, which this pack is super water resistant, near waterproof, but things still do happen, condensation and whatnot. So I think this total comes into, well, I'll just put it right down here. It is an ultralight setup, like I said, but this is just what feels comfortable for me. This is what I like bringing. I don't like bringing a whole bunch of stuff that I end up not using, but if that's your deal, that's your deal, and I respect you for that. We're all out there, like I said at the beginning, to have a great time in the great outdoors. If you found any use in this video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and leave me a comment about the gear that you're testing for 2020. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you on the trail.